Hey ladies, I'm Aisha Watkins, founder of Women of Project Management, and this is the Women of Project Management podcast, where I have candid conversations with all my favorite women inside the Women of Project Management membership in audio. Please don't forget to subscribe and review everywhere you listen to podcasts. I'm Aisha Watkins, founder of Women of Project Management, and today we're going to be talking to Tamara McLemore. Tamara is going to be talking to us about project management tips and tricks. So before we get into our conversation, I'm going to read Tamara's bio and her professional experience so you know exactly who you're talking to. So Tamara McLemore, a certified project management professional with over 15 plus years of extensive experience in IT, telecommunications, application and infrastructure implementation, demonstrated results exceeding metrics with international companies such as SaraLee, U.S. General Services Administration, and other federal agencies, including also BCD Travel, Deloitte, and Delta Airlines, to name a few. Tamara has been certified with stepping in mid-project and turning projects around, keeping them under budget and on schedule. Tamara is a graduate of my alumni, Xavier University of New Orleans of Louisiana, with her BA in Mass Communications. Tamara holds an MBA from American Intercontinental University in Global Technology Management, and has a master's certificate from George Washington University in project management. She was also a member of the $1 billion club before the age of 30. Fueled by her passion to see other women excel in STEM, she coaches women into their own inherent greatness. Tamara's volunteer work includes the Project Management Institute, PMI, Education Professional Development Committee, Women Who Lead at Georgia State University, Xavier University, Atlanta alumni, and she is an active member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., whose motto she lives by, to be a service to all mankind. So thank you, Tamara. Welcome to our little conversation about project management and talking about project management tips and tricks. So welcome. How are you today?
I am grateful that you have invited me on your platform. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to talk about project management. You know, yes. I love project management. So.
Yes. And to be transparent, Tamara is my friend. So I'm gonna try to resist, not trying to chime in too much, but and not trying to trade too many war stories. But we will trade some of them. But Tamara, I know I gave you a really extensive background. I think it's important to people to understand like that general overview of everything that you've accomplished. Is still a snapshot of what you've accomplished. But tell us, how did you even get started? You've accomplished all these things in project management, but how did you even get started in the project management industry?
By accident. Literally by accident. So I moved to Atlanta after I graduated from Xavier, went home for 1 year to St. Louis, came back, and my aunt, one of my favorite aunts, she worked for MCI WorldCom. And
okay. I know some people working for WorldCom.
So she was like, girl, you don't know nothing. Like, you got that little degree. You think you know something. She was like, you need to get in telecom, in technology. I'm like, what is that? So, so I was a journalism major. I have a degree in mass communications. I wanted to be a sports journalist. I wanted to be Hannah Storm, the first in the locker room to get the story. Like, I was really
I love it.
My girl, MCI WorldCom at the time were doing a lot of layoffs, but she was in management. So she was like, go to the contract company that we use. And she was like, all the companies, the major companies from Atlanta hire from there. I went, got an interview with Ericsson. They brought me on, supposed to be a contractor for like 6 months to a year. I was hired in like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
The rest is history.
That sounds like your style too.
So literally, I went from project coordinator, learning about switches, both sides, the whole Southeast region.
Because telecom is complicated. Telecom is complicated.
I made myself. This was the old mom pa Bell Souths.
Yeah.
Cellular. So all these mom pa Bell Souths,
Yeah.
which became AT&T.
Singular. I remember. Yep.
AT&T. So I helped build the infrastructure. I was a project manager. So when I say learn it, boots on the ground. I'm a project manager. So and got me into STEM, and I loved it ever since.
Good. That's amazing. Because I don't know if we ever talked about this, but I never worked in telecom, but I grew up in that, all those conversations and everything, because both my parents have always been the majority of their career in telecom. So I don't understand nothing because they talk to each other and it's all those acronyms. They could literally say a whole sentence with all those acronyms, and I'm like, what are we talking about?
MSMs and like all this stuff, like literally I could probably calculate a capacity in a city. That's how entrenched I was. Like to fly to the sites with the cell sites.
Wow.
Installers every week. Like literally, I was in 3 or 4 cities a week. Talk about a road warrior.
Girl, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is, like my aunt said, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So if I'm that young and that green and that hungry to learn, I just was absorbing everything. But at the time, I learned infrastructure, telecom, project management. But at the same time, we were gearing up our SAP infrastructure. So I was an SAP guru at the same time too. So I got 2 for 1. So it's a really, really good foundation.
Yeah. I mean, that alone, I know you already went to grad school, but that sounds like grad school, right? All that learning. It's a lot. It's a lot. So that's interesting. So how did your career evolve from, that first job, you kind of stumbled into project management like many of us have. I think a lot of people these days, not a lot of people, some people these days, it might be a little bit more calculated because they actually have project management as an undergrad degree, which didn't exist. No. And then they have it as grad degrees, and I'm like, that's amazing. And then, for the membership, I think one of the things is good and to have these conversations with women like you, because there's women who are out there who've gotten their undergrad, or they're getting their graduate degree, or they're changing from one career, and they want to apply those skills to project management, and they don't know kind of where to start. They don't know how this evolution looks for them. So how did that also go? So how did it start from, I stumbled into this role, I killed it, I mastered it and learned all these different skills, to working for all these different companies and Delta and all these amazing, huge companies. How did that kind of happen? What did that look like?
I would just say, I always say yes.
Yeah.
So I coach women, and so many times people come to me and they're very calculated. They have long laundry lists of what they want to do, or what they want it to look like. But then they're missing the opportunity is right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And literally, I was a project coordinator at Ericsson, quickly moved up to project manager, and I became an order manager. I managed regional account managers and finance. I don't even like Excel, to be honest. And I manage regional account managers.
Yeah.
And so just doing what you're supposed to do, and people recognize that and saying yes.
Yeah.
So many women come to me and say, well, they pay me for this position, but I don't know. And I told them no. You told them what?
Right.
Go back.
Right.
The answer is yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because a lot of women, we're trying to figure out how we're going to do it. What is it going to look like? But the thing is, they've been watching you. They've been grooming you. They have invested in you.
Even if you didn't know that. And they see it in you already.
They wouldn't ask.
Exactly.
We're like, we're not ready.
Yeah.
One more degree. We got to get this together. I would say the reason why I'm able to do so much is because I said yes. Even when I worked for the federal government, I was like, I don't know anything about the government. Like I was like, the government. Understanding that the government buying power, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the agency I worked for, GSA, amazing foundation.
Yeah.
And that took me to the next level. Just
Yes. I love that. So I know some of these questions already, I mean, the answers, but tell us some of the industries, because that's a really good segue of the fact that you were always flexible, always ready to learn, always open to what else is out there, the next big challenge, and be able to apply your skills. And I know it served you well throughout your career. But what are all the industries? Because I know you've worked in different industries. I think that makes you so dynamic, because you have this perspective from all these different angles. Your coach is someone that you're like, yep, worked in that industry. Yep, know that too. Yep, know that. So tell us the industries and kind of the different types of roles too, because I know you've done consult. I know you've done a little bit of everything, honestly.
And to my surprise, somebody just brought that to my attention, that I've worked in so many industries. I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So I worked, of course, in telecom, and then I worked for the federal government. And so GSA is, I call it the Walmart, the Amazon of government.
Okay.
And because we have the buying power, federal agencies come to us to purchase their cars, their supplies, pen and paper. Well, they come to GSA for the procurement shop, IT. And so that's what I did. So the VA became my biggest customer. The Army, nuclear regulatory, the Martin Luther King Center is one of my prized projects.
Listen, don't be just going over these fast. Go ahead now. I'm enjoying all of it.
Yes. Even with that VA, I almost, like, literally, my boss, I IM'd to come to his office. He handed me the VA. He was on a call. He handed the project a number on a napkin. I was like, okay. And he just kept talking. So I called the number, and that's how I got some of my biggest projects at the federal government was the VA. I did Tuscaloosa, Biloxi, Mobile, because I said yes.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about hospitals, and healthcare. Healthcare is a whole different.
It's a whole different beast.
It doesn't shut down, so you can't cut over at night.
Nope.
Once again, I said yes.
Yeah, I love that. So you have all this experience. What made you say, I want to bundle all this experience, all this knowledge that I have earned over my career, and I want to start coaching. I want to do a PMP boot camp. I want to be able to give back in that way of sowing seeds in other people so they can then pass the exam, and then they can start their own legacies and take their careers to different, levels that maybe they didn't even think they could. So what made you say, all right, I think I want to do this and to be able to sow that seed in others in this way? What made you do that?
Totally by accident again. It started off a little messy. It started off with some hateration.
Okay.
It started with, when I was on Facebook, it started with people coming to my inbox.
Okay.
Asking how me and my husband were traveling.
Okay. Oh yeah, you usually are all around the world.
like, because I'm kind of private.
Yeah.
So my husband, we post pictures, and I didn't really have any coworkers at that time that were my Facebook friends. Everybody was a friend. And I'm like,
it's like, no.
So people were coming into my inbox asking me, how can you travel?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I booked the airline and I get the hotel. They're like, no.
I know where this is going. I
don't understand. I blocked my calendar so nobody can put a meet. They're like, no, Tamara. My husband's like, oh, I ask you, how can you afford it?
Okay.
But I was confused because
To listen to the rest of this conversation, join us inside the Women of Project Management membership at womenofpm.com. Thanks for listening.